Hi guys, welcome to another podcast from OverByte Gaming with faces and shit, so you can see that we are still alive. I'm going for the Moses look at the moment. I need some tablets of stone and shit and fucking going crazy. The beer's going a bit stupid now. I'm starting to look past hobo. And there's Lee.
Yes, and I'm rocking the upside down head look.
You are. You like one of those little things with the magnet and the filings.
Or it could have been like the mop top hair shop, but just the beard.
No. My analogy was much cooler. Okay, should we christen today's podcast of nothing?
Oh yes, my Perlenbacker.
Hobgoblin Ruby, because it's.
We got the beard for it.
Yeah, I actually have had to trim this multiple times, but I keep eating the sides of my beard. And it's
Yeah,
really
I used to do that when I had just a stash. I like get a strand in my teeth, and I'd be like, and just pluck it out of my teeth. It's a bit horrible.
So, here we are. Another reason to socialise and talk about games and bullshit. How's gaming been for you last month or so since we did one of these?
I discovered the miracle Jesus of Beat Saber.
Yes, I saw the post on WhatsApp. That's a revelation for you doing exercise, isn't it?
Well, I figured being sat down all day and then basically the exercise I'm getting is going downstairs for a cigarette. I figured I'd spend my lunch hour doing Beat Saber, because when I bought it, I did 2 hours straight. Sweat was flying off me. So I figured I'd do that. So I did it yesterday at lunchtime, and I couldn't do it today because my crotch is fucked up from having to duck under all the fucking.
I've seen a number of videos of people doing Beat Saber for 30 days and stuff, and taking measurements before and after, and they only lose a couple of pounds or a couple of kilos or something, but they feel better for doing it. It's
it's
inside.
cardio. Yeah, so
it's a bit better on the inside, but it's definitely a game I've wanted to use in VR, but unfortunately in the space I have here, not going to happen. I would smash something. It's really not worth it. I mean, for me, if I could have, as and when they come out, and maybe get a bit affordable because I've already got a kit, but to have something that is a little bit more freer, that I could maybe just do outside or where I've got space.
Do you still need the sensor though? I think you still need the sensor, even on wireless ones.
Yeah, I don't know how it work, but I would like to have something that wasn't constricted by.
No, saying that though, I don't think you need to with the Quest. That's supposed to be self-contained, isn't it?
Yeah, so maybe it just reads the room around it or something. Now, that's what you need, because with Oculus having 2 sensors and stuff, well, you only need the one for the helmet, but if you're using the controllers, you need 2.
Or 3.
And I think I saw Linus on Tech Tips do a thing where he had something like 7 sensors running for Beat Saber, because he was using the virtual augmented thing where he's inside it.
Yeah.
So I do love Beat Saber. Always have since I've been watching it. Since watching people play it, but I've never actually got to use it myself.
Well, when lockdown lifts, there's your chance, sonny boy. We can get you around here and video you doing it.
Not until you post something. Come on, fair's fair.
I don't know.
Because I can guarantee you're doing it on easy.
I'm actually doing it on hard.
Bullshit. Prove it.
Well, I don't know if it's hard or pro. It's the one above normal.
Nah, you're doing.
I'm not
easy.
doing very well, but I'm generally able to complete the song.
They normally start very easy from Guitar Hero days. Very easy to easy, and then normal. So you're probably doing it on easy.
I started off doing it on very easy, but I find it's funner the more blocks that are coming at you.
Mm.
Because I don't know, it's like I get into the music and start moving to it and gain just a little fusion of style and grace.
Well, when you stop. Jesus. Well, no, I'm not going to bash it. It's getting you moving. That's what it's for. It's been a fantastic success. I'm not going to make fun of you for doing it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I bought another one as well, which I look over at my other monitor that I'm mirroring on the big TV, so I don't look this way all the time. And I'm still looking this way. But I bought another one, which is like this sort of medieval. It's kind of like a cross between Total War and just a first-person sort of chivalry type game. And that's fucking exhausting. It's like
Gorn, is it?
It's not Gorn, no. It's like you recruit armies from towns and you move them about, and then you're on the battlefield, and you can like pick your weapons for you. Start from your little encampment. Oh shit, I can't remember the name of it, but whatever. It's like in early access at the moment. Fuck me. First encounter was me, and there were 12 bandits. I'm trying to sword fight 12 people at the same time.
I remember playing a little, I suppose it was like a RTS that was in VR, and that was actually quite interesting because it was like playing a tabletop game but with moving parts. That was really good. I haven't looked into it since, but I hope something like that becomes a thing, because like it just added a little layer of polish onto a tabletop experience, and that's to date what I've only really seen VR do. Beat Saber is the one that's made VR like, oh, that's why we have VR.
How about that? There's a few.
You can do that. You can do that elsewhere. I mean, there's other games that are similar style, like Thumper. Thumper's very much in that vein, but it's not to music. But it's a forward-scrolling action. You know, do things in rhythm and stuff, but it's not to music.
I can't remember, but it's like this one where you have a little ship and you go along lanes, and it's all set to the beat of the music. And you can upload your own music. I can't remember what it's called now, but got that ages ago. So
is that audio something?
Audio. Yeah, it's audio something. I can see like the cover or the icon on the Steam page, but I can't remember the bloody name.
Yeah. There's lots of innovations like that. I mean, Guitar Hero at the time was just like, first time I saw it, I thought kids' toy, fuck off. And then when I started playing it, it was like, this is really addictive. I love this, and I never looked back. Like from the days of playing Guitar Hero, I bought Guitar Hero Live or GH Live, and that kind of died a death on the PS4. But I loved every moment until GH Live. It was fantastic.
Yeah, on Beat Saber, there's this song called Ramen Coke or something. It's piratey themed anyway. It's very sort of almost flamenco. And I find myself, I'm like, Slash the Box, I'm sort of giving all the... it's almost like I think I'm Vega from fucking Street Fighter.
You're stretching so far there, mate. You're stretching so far. What you think you look like, I can guarantee.
I know. I
guarantee you look like fucking Alf Garnett in a spa.
In my brain, I'm fucking the Dread Pirate Roberts, but like if we video it, watch it back, I'll be Star Wars kid. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's exactly how you probably look, to be honest. And anyone would look when they're doing Beat Saber. But if anybody out there is a Beat Saber fanatic or very good at it, then let us know down in the comments, because why not?
Yeah, I'm not very good, but I'm learning. I've only had it like 2 days, so
yeah, you'll get better. So
I'm
let's
down on hard, bitches.
So in my world of gaming, thanks for asking.
How's your world of gaming?
So I've been playing obviously a fair bit of daily Warframe, because that's what I do these days. I do enjoy my time with Warframe. Playing a bit more with some friends, so there's that to help out with and do bits. But also I recently got involved with Star Citizen, as in you saw the video on Wednesday. I don't know what it's at the moment.
Wait, this isn't going the way I thought it was. I'm sitting back up.
But the video seemed to do quite well. I mean, it's only Thursday today, day after, and it's had a few hundred, which is a lot for us here at OverByte. So the initial reaction has been quite positive, and the community seems to be quite supportive. So I might end up jumping in. But you said to me the other day that you've actually got it already, and you sort of jump in and see what it's like every now and again. So do you want to start having your rant now or a bit later?
I just kind of wish they'd stop adding shit, because I mean, you've basically been selling the game, or plagiarized, as some of us would insist on calling it.
That's because that's what they are. But yeah,
yeah. In my mind, I've paid them a fixed amount of money, which got me access to the game, so I bought the game. It's very much like subscriptions not being subscriptions or something, but we'll get onto that. Yeah. But like first, when I bought it, it was okay. Here's your starter ship. Here's your landing pad. That's it. That's all you get. So I was able to sort of wander around the ship, lay in the bed. That was about it. And there's just a multiplayer element, like sort of an arena battle thing, which I wasn't very interested in. I think I've been back into it previously, but I don't know. It just didn't run very well. It ran worse than either the previous 2 times. So,
well, I mean, I've got to say, there seems to be optimization is a big problem in the alpha that it is at the moment. And obviously, I made a lot of points on my video, but the main one for me was I wasn't sure whether I needed to upgrade in order to just see it at its best. It seems to be a mixed opinion, but I'm running a 980, and people say, it should be fine to run a 1080p kind of experience with a 980. It's more focused on your CPU and solid state drives and stuff. I'm like, well, if I have to build an entire rig just to play the game, that's a little bit off-putting. But I think I'm still going to jump in, get a starter pack through the pledge, and then just have my access to the game, and I can dip my toes in when I want to. I'm definitely not going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on ships.
No.
It's going to be an experience because, the time that I had when it was working was fun because I was exploring stuff. But I was worried that, in the sort of first impression thing, would there be more that I want to get involved in, or have I seen it? But certainly the space flight, the commanding the ship, that part's very Elite Dangerous to me. It felt very much like doing things in order, requesting permission to land and all that stuff. But then you get a game-breaking bug in the middle of it, and you'd be frustrated and then want to go back into the game and fly again. And I don't think any game's ever done that to me before, like in terms of being really fucking annoying and then suddenly feeling like I want to go back to it again. I mean, it's how you probably see Dark Souls and fucking Bloodborne. Maybe that's done it for me here, because it's not a question of skill, but it's a question of I can't do this thing, but I want to go back and try again.
Well, I'd equate it more to like Total War for me, which is a game that I love in concept, but I just can't get on with. But I keep buying them. It's like the other week I was like, I want to play Total Warhammer 2. I own it. Good. Oh, look, there's a little DLC. I'll get that. How long did I play? 7 minutes.
Yeah. I definitely, and I think people have agreed with me on the video that Star Citizen is not for a casual player. So if you're casual but you're looking at it, it's not for you, mate. You need something much more stable. That
is part of my disappointment with it. That it is like Frontier Elite, I always say Frontier, Elite Dangerous. When it comes from Chris Roberts, who did some of my favoritist games in the history of the world.
Wing Commander.
But Star Citizen, I just wanted basically an open galaxy with other players in it. So we're talking like a spec'd up privateer, mostly. Mm-hmm. And
Mark Hamill's involved in the Squadron 42, isn't he?
I don't know, because I can't play Squadron 42.
Why not? You got the game, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't think it's out, is it? Or it wasn't when I last checked.
It's not out. No, I think it's coming.
Yes, that's the part I'm interested in. So
I think that's just combat mainly. I don't think. I don't know what's involved. I'm not going to start speculating because I haven't read up on it.
I'm expecting a story. I mean, Wing Commander 4 is probably my favorite game of all time. And I did buy a new PC to play Wing Commander Prophecy. Thank you very much. So,
idiot.
It wouldn't be against type for me to buy a new PC for a Chris Roberts game, but having played what was available of this, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm not that bothered about it. I mean, I bought it, so it was always something, pledged for it. So it was always something that I was like, it's like I own a guitar. I can't play it very well, but I have the opportunity to take lessons because I own a guitar. It's kind of that same thing with Star Citizen for me.
Yeah, because if you put in some effort, you can make some beautiful music.
Well, I'm not the one requiring the effort putting in, to be fair.
But so I think my kind of gaming experience recently has been that. Obviously, I found Observation.
I think we found it.
Yeah. But I can't remember how it came about, but I ended up playing some of that and obviously did a video on it. But that was quite a nice refreshing change of pace from other games. But
yeah, it was completely unoriginal though. It was well done.
Stop it.
But very
of course it's unoriginal. It's fucking sci-fi.
You can have original sci-fi, but it's basically a very famous science fiction movie in game form, but without that license.
Yeah, what's the problem?
I knew what was going to fucking happen.
It was Beyond Two Souls in Space, mixture of 2001 and Aliens.
I think it was 2001 in Space, which is
and
2001.
And The Arrival, definitely bits of Arrival in there.
Oh no, there were no stupid aliens making cinema goers thinking they're faux smart by wiping things in smoke.
Yeah. There's no joy in your life, is there, Lee? There's just no. I can't see joy. I
didn't like Arrival. I was just like,
you don't like anything. Anything I like, you do not like.
I do. I like change.
I like bills.
Which bill?
The one with the most numbers and noughts on it.
Oh, I see. You were talking about money. I thought you were talking about like a person.
Yeah, okay, we did both like change, that's a given, but that was probably under the radar of most things.
I like Beat Saber. Everybody likes Beat Saber. There you go. I'm falling in with the masses on that one.
And you love Ubisoft and I don't, so that's how it works.
My liking of Ubisoft is deteriorating. They kind of bought themselves some goodwill with Odyssey. And I know I'm in the minority on Odyssey, and most people were like, it's fucking rubbish, it's all grind. I didn't find it grindy at all. I just had little side missions that I enjoyed. What?
I had terrible performance on that one, didn't I?
Yeah, you bought it on the PS4 as well.
Yeah, that was awful. It destroyed my love for Assassin's Creed grind, because I was just like, I can't do this. This is awful.
To be fair, Ubisoft can't really optimize the game to save their fucking lives anyway.
Well, to be fair, I mean, the visuals alone must be such a task to bring that together in any of their games. I mean, even since like Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2, like the environments or the textures and everything, they always looked amazing. Like for the time, they obviously improved over time, but
yeah, the people were a bit off sometimes.
Yeah, people have always been a bit off. But I remember Unity, because that was set in France, and that was the first time they tried to. Oh, we can have hundreds of people in there.
Turn everybody's faces inside out.
Yeah, there was some of that, but you look at the environments in that and Syndicate, fucking beautiful places to walk around in. Really, really good. And that's Ubisoft. That's where they were excelled, were texture artists and environment artists and stuff like that. They just know how to do it.
Yeah, they just can't write very well.
Well, they can't use the same words as everyone else, is what we've discovered this week.
Yeah. Yes, from the new Trackmania, isn't it? The new Trackmania game, which has a following.
Yeah, so I won't lie, I did see Jim Sterling's video on this the other day, and that's pretty much all I've noticed about it, because I'm sick of stories like this. But from what I understand, if you haven't caught up with the news, they've decided to publish a game that you pay for when you want to play for it, and said this is not a subscription model. That's the bare bones, isn't it?
So you basically pay for a certain amount of time, and then if you want to continue playing, you pay some more for a certain amount of time.
And it's not a subscription model.
And it's not a subscription model.
Because in a subscription model, you pay some money for a period of time and then pay again.
I think maybe it's because they're not automatically taking the money. So they go, it's not a subscription because we're not continually taking money from you. Maybe it's just like, oh, good, I have to make a payment, have my bank decline it and ring the bank and get the card unblocked, you fuck.
Maybe. That's the only way they could possibly think it's not subscription-based. But yeah, it's subscription-based.
After the Culling 2, you'd think they'd be a little bit more careful about doing shit like this, to be fair.
But is Culling 2, is that the other one that had the buy tokens to play matches?
That's the one.
So this is the new fucking loot box, isn't it? This is the new microtransaction.
What, subscriptions?
Well, setting up that you have to pay for your time playing, like some kind of pay-as-you-go mobile phone bollocks. It's the new way of squandering squeezing the last bit of fucking cash out of gamers.
How about they make some significant DLC and then give that away for a fair and reasonable price?
No, but that doesn't make you money. So
yeah, I know. Speaking of fair and reasonable price, oh, my beer fell over. My unopened beer. Speaking of fair and reasonably priced, I picked up Mortal Kombat Aftermath.
Oh, is that the one with Robocop and Terminator?
No, Terminator was already in it as separate DLC.
Okay.
So yes, that was I think £35. Which is
£35 for what?
So about 3 hours of story and 3 fighters. There's 2 extra stages and friendships, but they came out free for the game anyway.
Okay. But I guess with that game, you're paying for the license because you've got a licensed character coming through. So what do you say?
RoboCop's
3 characters?
Not in the campaign. Yeah. So you get RoboCop, Fujin, and Shiva. Those are the 3 new characters.
I don't know if that's worth the money, to be honest, mate.
It's a good DLC. The storyline I like because you sort of play as the bad guys. And
that's original.
And Shang Tsung's back, and he's played by Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Done to death.
Dude, I dropped mine on anything where he played Shang Tsung.
I'm just being devil's advocate for your bashing of sci-fi, in case you hadn't picked that up yet.
No, it is terribly overpriced, even more so when you consider that if you buy like the package, so you pay $60 or whatever, and that gets you Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat Aftermath, and the DLC. Whereas you get people like me who bought it all separately, is paid, well, what, 50 quid for Mortal Kombat, 35 for Aftermath, what, £5 a character for the DLCs. I didn't really bother with the skins because that seemed a bit pointless, or the easy fatality tokens because that's a bit pointless as well.
Oh yeah, they did that too, didn't they?
Except one of RoboCop's has curiously got up as the first direction to push during a fatality, which makes him fucking jump. I have no idea how to do that one.
I have no idea. I haven't played Mortal Kombat since we did the review, and that wasn't much.
No, it's good, but I mean, if it was 20 quid, that would have been sufficient.
Yeah, but it's a AAA game, so you need the extra cash. There's no money in games anymore.
Well, I think it's just them going, right, we're all stuck, socially distanced. What can we do? Oh, we can use existing assets and slap together a new DLC that we can sell for damn near full price.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the franchise of Mortal Kombat is beloved by the people that have grown up with it, like us, in that age group, as well as, you know, people being into the kind of ridiculous violence and stuff that's involved in the game. That was always the draw when we were kids. It was like, oh, have you seen how much blood is in Mortal Kombat? Look what you can do, you can rip out his spine and all that stuff, which was an April Fool's joke in the computer magazine, if I remember. There was, I think it was the review of Mortal Kombat 2, and it was like, look what's coming in Mortal Kombat 2, and they had like Scorpion pulling like spines out of people and ripping them in half, and there's blood all over the screen, and it looked obviously fake, but young kid me was like, oh, that's amazing. But
didn't they do that though?
They did eventually, but not to the extent that was in this magazine review.
Oh, okay.
It was like blood splatters all over the page type thing. It was definitely fake, and it was like, oh no, it's a joke, and everyone hated them for it.
Well, if the blood got on the pages of the magazine you were reading, mate, I'm pretty sure that was fake.
Exactly.
It came out the screenshot and spread everywhere.
So, in just as a segue to non-gaming stuff, I started watching Space Force.
Mm.
Have you watched it yet?
Not yet. It's on my list because one of the, I think the guy that wrote it is like an
Daniels.
Star Trek writer, I think.
It's not very good.
Oh, that's a shame.
But I was expecting hilarity on the level of, you know, Steve Carell's previous work in The Office or 40-Year-Old Virgin, that kind of stuff. He brings a little bit of it, but it kind of feels like a Steve Carell watered down. There's moments where you think brilliant, but he hasn't settled into it yet. I'm maybe about 4 or 5 episodes in, and I've only laughed maybe twice, like through the whole thing. It's not belly laughs, so just be aware of that when you're going into it.
Well, I find Steve Carell is much like Will Ferrell or Ferrell or fucker.
You just said it right.
Wow. Which way? Which way? Tell me which way.
Will Ferrell.
So not Ferrell.
No.
Okay. So that guy and Steve Carell. Is that right?
Carell.
What? That's confusing, isn't it? But they're these types of comedians that either you think they're the funniest fucker on the planet, or they're just really fucking annoying. And I unfortunately fall on the latter side for both of these gentlemen.
See, you just hate things I like. We're coming back to that again. No, I think he's got certain moments in this, and I won't say what, but at the very end of the first episode, that's the bit that made me laugh, because it was just funny. It was simply funny, and it hasn't really got back there yet. There's amusing parts, but it seems really forced, as in space forced.
Yeah, well,
should be called Space Forced.
It's still better than Picard, I reckon.
I haven't watched that yet. Sounds like I shouldn't bother.
Don't fucking bother. Yeah, it's the biggest pile of shit I've seen in my life. And,
really? That bad?
It's worse than Discovery by miles.
That wasn't great.
That wasn't great, no. The only bright spot in that was when you had Anson Mount as Captain Pike. I liked him. I was rather looking forward to the new show, but I've lost complete any desire to watch any CBS Star Trek products now, which is good because they might be selling it because they're in dire straits monetarily, and Picard didn't do very well. So Amazon and Netflix are no longer interested in their Star Trek products, although that is an unconfirmed rumor, but it comes from reputable sources.
Well, we can only hope, for Star Trek fans, to have someone that actually gives a fuck about it.
There are apparently people that want to buy it, so hopefully shall get someone else writing actual Star Trek stories and not just violent, depressing, nasty pieces of shit that completely misunderstand the franchise and characters.
Ooh, sounded deep. How did that feel? Dirty?
Loosening.
So, any more game news that you want to bring up?
More game news. What was that thing we were talking about?
What, before the Space Force thing?
No, before we come on.
Oh, you said you wanted to dick on Sony again.
Oh yes, Sony with their DMCAs. They've managed to DMCA themselves. What? This is like a week or two old now. So it's
okay. I hadn't heard about this. Carry on.
Yeah, but basically PlayStation put out a tweet with some video footage of The Last of Us 2 and all that glorious shitholery, and the company that Sony and Naughty Dog are employing to DMCA strike every fucker in the world that wants to talk about it. DMCA PlayStation's tweet, and was removed because the copyright holder didn't say they had the right to use it.
Oh, bless them. Bless little cotton socks.
I really don't want to get a PlayStation 5 at this juncture.
I'm going to get one anyway, just for the hell of it. I feel like I should.
The thing is, it's like UFC 4 comes out, Spider-Man 2 comes out. I'm going to be like, fuck.
I'm going to have to buy one.
Exactly. That's annoying the fuck out of me.
But sequels are always worse. Sequels are always worse, so
Yeah, well, it's the fourth UFC games.
That's what I mean. I really hope that Spider-Man 2 would come out and do well, because the first one was phenomenal. I'd say it was the most polished game we've ever seen on a console, if I'm honest.
I wouldn't disagree with that. They do need to cut out the stealth sections where he plays Mary Jane, though. Not a fan of those.
But still, at the time, it was very brief, and 10 minutes after that, you're back to playing Spider-Man again.
Oh, every time it came to a Mary Jane or a Miles section, I was just like, I just want to be Spidey, for fuck's sake. The only one I enjoyed was where Mary Jane was basically lasing people for Spider-Man just to emerge from the ceiling and take out.
Exactly. They managed to keep him in the picture, which didn't make it feel like it.
That one time. Every other time, it was just stealth sections, and I hate stealth sections.
Yeah, but, I will be getting a PS5 as soon as they're able to be pre-ordered. Because, I've got the other 4, so for me, it's almost like a rite of passage that I should buy the 5th one. To have a console of choice, because I currently use my PS3 as a Blu-ray player downstairs in the front room.
You can get a Blu-ray player for like 30 quid, mate. It's cheaper. Get that.
Well, why? Because I've already got one.
Well, buy another one then.
Well, I've got another one. I've got a PS4 that I can put downstairs.
So what happens to the PS3 then?
It goes back in its box and gets tucked away safely. And so I have the PS5 up here, and I have the PS4 downstairs for the Blu-rays. That's the plan, mate. So I'm looking forward to the PS5. They were planning to do a release kind of thing, gameplay release thing tomorrow, but I think I've read somewhere that's been canned. Tomorrow from here. Well. It would be yesterday by the time you see this.
So that would be Friday, what, the 5th, is it?
No. Yes, the 5th.
So it would have been anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's been postponed as well. Maybe, I don't know, they're worried that they'll stream and get DMCA'd.
Well, if anyone's got this far into the video, let us know down in the comments if you think Lee and I should do a live stream on YouTube while watching the Sony announcements. If we get 10 likes on this video.
If we get 100 likes on this video, I will do it.
100 likes on the video, and Lee will actually sit through a Sony presentation.
And if we get 150, Snare will buy a Stadia.
Oh, no, it's got to be higher for that, surely. 200 and I'll buy a Stadia.
Yes, which I think we're... Oh my God, guys, it's going to be so great. We've discovered SSDs.
Have you seen, I did see a Layman Gaming video on Stadia, where they were just referencing the death knolls again. So they do love their Stadia knocking. But the attempts between, was it GeForce, Steam, and Microsoft all coming together to say,
they're not coming together. Microsoft is separate because they're doing their own xCloud tied in with their Xbox Series X. So they're staying separate. GeForce and Steam. Yeah. So Steam have said, you can have our games and use our platform, but you need to agree with each of the developers that they want to put their games on it.
So it has potential, but it's also something that's like the driving USP of Stadia. But you won't have to buy your game again.
Yeah, which is absolutely ridiculous. And the developers, being greedy money fucks that they are basically saying, no, I don't want to go on GeForce now because I want to sell the game again.
Yeah, well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, isn't there like some sort of law that when you buy like a CD, you have the right to copy that CD? You have the right to, as long as you don't distribute it. I'm sure there was something about like usage of content that you had the right to do those things.
The basic, I think, from the physical media, I think it says it pretty plainly on the front of the CDs. Well, not front, like in major.
So you could like rip your own CDs, but as long as you didn't give that copy to anybody, you just want to play it in a different format. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, in the UK, you're not even allowed to video TV.
Yes, that's true.
Because that's live broadcast.
But again, that's not something that you've bought. It's something you've pledged to.
You buy a license. But it's the same principle in terms of games. You never buy a game, you only buy the license to access it.
Yeah.
So if you're buying your access to the game on a certain platform, that is limited to that platform. And so that's probably why they're kicking off, because they can't then, like you say, charge people again. Yeah, but
you play GeForce Now on a PC. You've bought it on a PC with Steam, and you want to play it on a PC. You just want to have the extra oomph for your shitty laptop.
But in GeForce Now, I don't use it myself. But you don't. The only people that really benefit from GeForce Now are those with the underpowered PCs.
Or laptops, if you're away for business or something, you don't want to lug your giant tower everywhere to play games. Then I understand it. That makes really good sense. It'd be amazing if they could also get that to work properly on mobile as well, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, for some games that would be quite nice to be just on the bus playing it.
Yeah, something joypad related. You could, or even Steam controllers emulate mice rather well. So you could have a mounting system for that. You'd be playing Command & Conquer Remastered or whatever on your bus ride to work and getting strange looks and possibly theft.
Well, I remember seeing photos of a guy just like with his Xbox and monitor, just on the subway.
How the fuck is he doing that?
He had a massive rucksack and he just had it on. He just literally sat there, big fat guy, just sat there playing his Xbox.
Yeah, but how did he power it?
Well, he had a power pack, I'm sure.
What, like a 2-pin?
No idea, mate. It might have been the setup, but it looked funny, so didn't look into it. So there's that. But no, I don't think it's worth having a fight over the split between Steam and GeForce Now, because everybody using GeForce Now has the game on Steam anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't, as far as I know, you don't buy your game from GeForce Now.
No. Not unless, I suppose, if they ever do anything proprietary, they might. But
I've got this horrible feeling now that it's not called GeForce Now; it's called something else.
I think it's called GeForce Now.
Well, let's go with that. But I'm just acknowledging the fact it feels wrong for some reason. Maybe because of PlayStation Now, and I'm thinking GeForce is just called GeForce or something, or I don't know.
Yes. PlayStation dirty fuckers.
Yeah. So I haven't got any ideas for future reviews or anything coming up. And we don't really have a chance to catch up on stuff like this much. So,
well, do Cyberpunk.
Well, yeah, as and when that comes out. When's that out?
September. It's teens, like 14, 17, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, September. Okay.
That's so still a couple of months. Yeah. Unfortunately, but I've made it in time. I now have the PC to run it, so I'm good.
Well, I think I might be close to needing to do an upgrade. It hasn't failed me yet, and I think my experience with Star Citizen was the first time it kind of had to be run on low. But I don't think it's due to the graphics card that probably wasn't.
No, it's still a good card. The 980 still demands pretty good prices, which is why I was pissed off when my fiance sold mine for like 40 quid.
What?
Yeah, she sold it on eBay for 40 quid. I was like, look at all these other ones that are going for like over 200. What are you doing?
Fucking hell. 40 quid.
I spent like 600 some pounds on it when it came out.
Well, yeah, when it arrives, I'll put it in and crossfire it, pixelate it.
You'll be lucky with that fucking power supply you got in there.
No, I've got 1,000 watts.
Really? That's
standard.
Grief. Okay, fair enough.
I have a lot of USB shit coming out of my laptop, my desktop.
Yeah, so do I. I have an 850 of mine. A new one, though, which is also gold. And be quiet.
Quick tip for PC builders, don't buy anything less than gold for your power supply. Please, no. I implore you.
No,
don't
it's
buy
fine.
a shit one.
As long as it's from a recognised brand and it's bronze rated, you'll be fine. Yes, you will. Honestly.
No.
Bronze is fine.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I've blown 2 fucking motherboards because of a shitty PSU. There was bronze. I bought a new one and it popped the second one.
Who manufactured that?
A lovely, well-known
Chinese lady.
It was from Novatech.
Oh, so it was Novatech's own.
Yes.
Which is the one I've just pulled out with much relief and replaced with a gold be quiet.
I could have given you a spare one.
Well, ones that blow up motherboards, no fucking thank you.
Yeah, it was. No, my personal philosophy now is it has to be gold or higher. To be that seal of safety. They can still pop, I know that, but the margins of error you're going to get from that is
when it comes to popping, bronze is fine. When you're talking about gold and platinum, you're really looking at energy efficiency.
Yeah, and quality.
It's not worth it for the price.
It's not that much more expensive.
Mine was a birthday present, otherwise I wouldn't have been so stupid.
No, it's not that much. For peace of mind, yeah.
Platinum ones are, mate. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There's diminished returns when you go up higher, but for a difference between a bronze and a gold, it's not much. In the grand schemes of building a rig, it's not much.
Depends what sort of rig you're building.
Well, even a half-decent rig is going to set you back 4 figures, isn't it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. You get half decent. You can get 1080 60 on most games for £400-500.
Yeah, I said a half decent, not entry level.
That's not true. 1080 60 is not entry level, mate.
Well, how much is a 10 whatever you said as a graphics card?
No, it's not a graphics card, mate. That's a resolution.
Oh, I don't care about the resolution. I'm talking about the kit involved 1080p,
in your PC. 60 frames per second. You can do it from the second-hand market. You could buy. Certainly, you do it with Ryzen processors. So really, I mean, outside of that, memory's going to be about £30.
Nah, my memory sticks are 80 quid a piece.
Fucking hell! What the hell did you buy?
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I've got 32 gig running in this. Yeah, so I had to buy 4 sticks of RAM, 80 quid a pop.
32 gig is overkill, mate. You don't need 32 gig.
It isn't when you're editing.
Truth. This is not. Yes, not for gaming though. 16 is your sweet spot at the moment.
You're really loud. Even I heard that.
Wow. I'm sorry, it's stupid Zoom that we're using. It auto balances.
So when I put this one together, probably about 5-6 years ago now.
Somewhere around that was just after me, wasn't it? Because we did ours around the same time initially.
Yeah, maybe about 5 years ago. Obviously, I think I spent about 400 quid on the motherboard, another 400 quid on the chip. Graphics card was probably about 350. The RAM was 200 quid-ish, something like that, or maybe 280. Then obviously coolers, that was another 40 quid, I think.
We're taking on that motherboard, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, don't forget the double motherboard cost and the double PSU cost from talking about.
Where it blew.
Yeah. So that was an extra £400. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in there, and I've got 6 terabytes of storage and the SSD boot drive. So the drives were probably about 70 quid, I think, maybe just over, for 3 terabytes each. Yeah, so it all adds up.
I think if you bought one today, you could probably get the processor for about 100, motherboard for about 100, say about 200 for a decent graphics card, and then you got like 30 quid for, well, maybe 40 or 50, but for your RAM, and then just a hard drive like a terabyte mechanical and a small SSD. So you're looking at about 500 quid.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just thinking if you want to have something that's not going to need to have anything replaced soon, then you want to spend the extra cash at the outset.
Yeah,
if you can. I know people out there might not have the funds to make, a $2,500 rig or a fucking stupidly overpowered editing machine that doesn't get used for much editing anymore. But if you can, then I suggest you do, because it will save you in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. If you can afford to spend more, then generally speaking, it's worth spending more. Yeah. Because you'll get better quality, better performance, depending on what you're looking at. But at the end of the day, you don't need to spend a whole bunch of money getting an uber god level machine. I mean, my God, some of the rigs I've seen are like 15 grand. It's like, who the fuck would spend 15 grand on machines? But people do.
Yeah, people do.
Not me.
People are into kind of proper home networking and running their own fucking servers and shit. That kind of stuff is where the money can go. I know that for a fact. Not that I've done it myself, just know people that have. But I mean, that's the point of the way that things are going with GeForce and Steam and Stadia.
Is dying. Lovely.
Yeah, but you don't need to have. You just need a way to access it. And then all the grunt work is done there. So as long as you've got a decent connection, you're sitting pretty.
I think
which is great.
I think the cloud gaming thing is going to become more prevalent, and I think it will work well alongside existing gaming platforms. I don't see it as a replacement. Certainly not anywhere close.
Well, there's 2 problems with it. First of all, people will be scared to make the jump. So having a hybrid is a fantastic way to show people and expose it to people to say, this is what it can do. Because, I mean, I've got a friend that uses GeForce now. His laptop is basically a potato. but with GeForce Now, he's able to play a game and load into missions and stuff far quicker than I can. Noticeably a couple of seconds here and there, but that's a long time when you consider how fast it takes to load into a mission. But we play your favorite game, which won't be mentioned because you'll sit back and go to sleep again. But his experience with GeForce, apart from a few niggles with signing in and stuff, because that needs to be sorted, the performance is just absolutely fine until his connection might get a bit spotty. And that's the bit that needs to get sorted. So
yeah, it's what the devil PlayStation was trying to do previously when they had sort of cross-play, so you could like play on your PS3 and then take your PSP and it would be the same game, and it wasn't ready at that time.
Yeah, those heady days of the PS3 being the centre of your multimedia in your house.
Yeah, which
back when they used the term multimedia, do you remember?
Yeah, it was supposed to like sit in the middle of your entertainment center and do everything and manage everything, and then it didn't work out so well, and they lost the generation. And then Xbox looked back at what they did and went, "Seems like a good idea. We'll do that," and lost that generation.
Yeah, it's flip flop, doesn't it? Really.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens now. I mean, on paper, the Xbox is slightly more powerful, but that means jack shit, really. I mean, they both have SSDs, so like Sony harkening on about how much better. I mean, like, unless they come up with a completely new technology on how to stream it from an SSD, it means jack shit. Because the only thing an SSD helps with is fucking loading times.
Well, that's the problem with a lot of the hyperbole you get around this sort of period before a launch. It's like people have been waiting for the next one, so it's got to be better, it's got to be faster, it's got to be stronger, it's got to be quicker. And it doesn't really matter. Like, if you haven't got the stuff on it to play as games, or whatever use you're intending for that particular console to actually come to fruition, people are just going to turn off. If you're going to bill it as a fucking central media server center thing, then make sure it can do it. Make sure it's a good enough product. That's the problem. PS3, I think it might have been debunked now, but it was more powerful, but it had nothing to do with anything.
It was more powerful, but it was harder to program for because it had the proprietary cell processor in it.
Yeah, so people were only using one at best. And I think with the PS5, we're looking at, the odd numbers of the series of PlayStation have been a bit rubbish, but the even numbers have been amazing.
One was good.
But one was okay. Yeah.
You've really got one data point, so you've got like the 3.
You've got 1, 3, and then we'll see. We'll see, Lee, when the 5 comes out, and I've bought.
What was amazing when it came out? I know what you're talking about.
The 1 was okay. Yeah, it was the first time you go, oh, this is a disc. Oh my god, it's not a cartridge.
Except me, who was playing Rebel Assault before that.
But I think with the experience of the PlayStation 2 was definitely where it captured people's imagination and became an icon of console gaming. And I think, same reason that PCs are going to start moving into the cloud, consoles can't be too far behind because they're already about 2 years behind, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how the new generation of consoles do, because if you look previously, everything that's ever been released prior to a console coming out has been the biggest pile of bullshit you've ever heard in your life in terms of what they can do. I mean, you remember when the PlayStation 4 would be 4K 60? It doesn't even do fucking 1080 60. What are you talking about in most things?
That's why they brought out the PlayStation 4 Pro, didn't they?
Which would do 4K 60.
Just about does 60p. But yeah, I think the problem, well, we saw that in the last generation with the kind of the subsequent 0.5 upgrades they did. That's a bit of a problem when it comes to, well, for me anyway, back in the days of the Amiga, if you remember, you had A500 games, right? Then they brought out the A1200, which wasn't compatible with some games.
Yeah, it was AGA, that was why.
Yeah, so you had to have a different different game to play, or different edition of it. Then they had the A600, which also sometimes didn't like the A500 games or the A1200 games, and it was just a mess. And you had 3 different kinds of Amigas. You couldn't go, this you can play on the Amiga. You had to state 4 different types.
Because some of the A500 games wouldn't play on an A500 Plus unless you relocate the workbench down to 1.3.
It was just ridiculous, and that kind of problem, remains if you buy. Well, I don't know how it works on the PS4. I think it's just an uplift, isn't it, with the Pro?
The Pro, it's just got more grunt.
So it's not quite the same problem.
And HDR as well, I think. Which I've tried on some games because my TV has it. Don't really see much of a difference personally, but okay.
No, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be kind of it's always going to be an experiment. But I would suggest that consoles end up being some kind of access point, a bit like you do with an Amazon Fire Stick in your TV. It hasn't got all the guts in there. That's just your connection point to the service. And
yes.
I think that's the way it'll go.
Is that not what Stadia are using?
Probably, but the issue with Stadia isn't how they're doing it. It's the business practices around it. Because the idea of just being able to just play it on any device, yeah, great, brilliant. Just sign up through that, cool. But the practice of saying, well, you've got that game, but you have to buy it on our platform now.
Yeah, you either sell the games and the platform's free. Thank you. Or you charge for usage of the platform, and then all the content's free. Yes. You don't do both, especially from a company that is so dodgy when it comes to actually following through on things. And when something doesn't work quite how they want it to, they will just bury it. Mm-hmm. So you go in and you buy 10 games on there, $600, and then the next month they just go, yeah, we're not supporting this anymore because it's failed. Sorry. We'll give you a month back.
That has reminded me of one bit of news I remember seeing last few days. You might have seen it too. The Take-Two.
Oh God, the studio.
Yeah. That was interesting purely because they don't even give a shit anymore, do they? It's like there's no part of it which is like, we've got to keep this quiet. It's going to be a PR disaster if this gets out. They're like, fuck it. We're gonna offer you to do this stuff. Do this stuff for us. No, okay, right. We're gonna fucking skank you all. By the way, everybody works there. Do you want to come work over here? And they literally just tried to recruit all the fucking people they sacked. Or maybe that's not quite how it went down.
Well, they didn't sack them, but they basically fucked over the studio. And while the studio's sort of scrambling to recover, they came in and sort of headhunted to half their staff.
It's just so bastardy.
And that game that they pulled, you want to come to our studio and work on, coincidentally, the game that you were working on at this indie studio that you don't want to work for anymore.
So disgusting bastards, but it's not exactly going to be...
I can't believe that there's not some legal recourse against that. That is literally just breaking contract, surely.
Well, how is it breaking contract?
Well, they were publishing the game that the developers were creating, and then when all of a sudden, no, we're not going to publish it anymore, but we've still got the rights to it, so we'll develop it in-house, and then we'll have half your staff.
Did they already own the company?
No, they didn't.
Oh, they didn't. Okay, so it was a true poach. Okay,
it was a true poach. Yeah.
Well, who knows? I mean, if they were a company that were no longer trading because they've been fucked over, then those people are free of contract, aren't they?
Yeah, but they hadn't closed the doors at that point, I don't think.
Okay, because I don't know the latest on it, but I'm just speculating what it could be. And if it's a case where the company doesn't exist anymore, they wouldn't be poaching them from the company.
Well, the company now doesn't exist. They had to shutter after half their fucking staff went to work for EA. Not EA. Oh, God. Take-Two. Just so used to saying EA.
But which haven't been in the news much recently, which is strange. Everyone else is taking the flak.
They're keeping their heads down, probably for the best, and just set off lots of people off paying for their Ultimate Team cards. So they're probably having a
they're all
good time.
happy. Yeah. Well, I think we'll bring this podcast to a close, unless there's anything else you wanted to go about.
I have. I think I told you. I can't remember. What did I tell you? I bought a steering wheel and pedal set.
All right.
And a racing stand for it, so I can play American Truck Simulator on VR, and it's glorious.
I bet you look like a complete knobhead.
I bet I do, but it looks
locked up.
It looks amazing.
I can just imagine your girlfriend coming in, and then you're just sat there, just
Just it's not the worst thing she's walked in on me doing, mate.
True, but let's not mention that, otherwise you might get arrested. But yeah, I mean, it's the thing. I mean, the one thing I've never bought that I was thinking about getting recently was a flight yoke. You know, like a 2 joystick kind of situation.
I've got one. Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I wouldn't use very often, so I can't really.
I use mine for Wing Commander games, obviously, and Elite Dangerous in VR. So, and I suppose Star Citizen when I try it.
Well, I'll have to.
They're not very expensive. I think my one was about 30 quid. So
I'll have to add you and drag you into a nice buggy alpha experience sometime.
When I could be bothered to reinstall it. It should at least run better on a 2080 Super, for fuck's sake. So.
One thing to remember, though, you have to verify your install files every time you want to play the game.
Yeah, I better put it on my SSD then.
Doesn't matter, you still have to.
Yeah, but it will be quicker.
It's actually, we tested this because my friend was doing it. It's no different in speed. The SSD doesn't seem to make any difference. Then
he bought a bad SSD. It should not be the same. Absolutely not.
Well, anyway, let's not dig into that detail today.
Buy yourself an SSD, mate. Nice 2 terabyte one like what I got. And you'll be like, oh, fucking hell. This is like magic. In fact, I might release a console based around this.
Probably not. I was going to say, if you have made it this far, thank you for watching and listening to detritus coming out of our mouths about shit. So I really do appreciate your time and your attention.
It's not like you've got anything else to do. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
you're desperate. Anything dropping in your YouTube screen, and you're just like, yeah, that'll do.
But thank you for watching. We do have videos coming out every Wednesday and Saturday, but that is not a given guarantee these days. So
although we have held to it thus far.
We have. It's been okay, but it all depends on content. If we haven't got anything to make a video about, let's just not do one rather than just pumping out something for the fucking sake of it. Yeah, thanks for that. So like and subscribe, all that good stuff to the channel. It helps us out a great deal. Share with your friends. And thanks to all my new Star Citizen friends who commented on the video yesterday for me. So 2 or 3 days ago when you're watching this.
None of whom will be watching this.
I'll tell you what the count. Shall I tell you what the count is at the moment, Lee? Would that help you?
No, go on then. Go on.
Let's see. So this is an important moment. It's at 330. So 330 people. Thank you for watching it. I really appreciate it. I was worried how that would actually go, so that's why I'm mentioning it so much, because I'm quite happy inside. But
yeah, not on the outside, just inside.
But yeah, it was a good one. So we are going to call it a day there. So thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and check you again back on Wednesday when Lee will be doing what? Do you know what you're doing yet?
I didn't realise it was me, so no.
It is you.
It's you fucker, get stuck in.
I want to see a Beat Saber video. I want to see a truck driving simulator video.
Oh God, this is all VR capture that I'm terrible at.
Well, we want to see you playing it, because I think that's far funnier.
Yeah, but it needs to be synced with the in-game footage, otherwise it would make no sense. Oh, I see.
Bing! But yeah, so hopefully Lee will have something to do on Wednesday. But apart from that, take care of yourselves.
Yes, take it easy, and don't forget, if you do happen to subscribe, ring that bell. Come on, you got enough. You're starving for content in this crisis of a time. You might want to just ring the bell. You get so nice pop up on your phone every so often. We'll be like, hello.
We're like old friends that shouldn't be there. The old man at the pub at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's what we are.
You'd be stood there and your wife be peering over your shoulder. You'd be like, I don't know there. Fuck off.
But yeah, take care, guys. See you again soon.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.